Hello Laker Nation. My name is Edwin Garcia and welcome back to Lakers Takes. Today I'm continuing my 5-part series where I'm reviewing every player's 2020 season that's still on the roster. Today we're going through Tier B. Before we do that, I need you to do me a favor and like and subscribe to my channel. Lakers Takes is just getting started and you subscribing to the channel helps the channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. Alright, let's get into Tier B. Avery Bradley had a very good regular season. He was a starting guard for the Lakers and a leader on the team. Avery Bradley was one of the best defenders on the Lakers during the regular season. He started all but 5 games he played in and averaged 8.6 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. Not an earth-shattering stat line, but he was consistent. He also had big games against top opponents, most notably his 24-point night versus the Clippers right before the season stopped. As the pandemic hit the world and the NBA season stopped, and as information about the bubble became clear, Avery Bradley decided not to join the Lakers in the bubble. He opted out. His 6-year-old son has respiratory issues and he didn't feel comfortable leaving him and joining the Lakers in the bubble. I respect and understand Avery Bradley's decision. It's a tough choice to make and it's a situation I've never and will never be in. To pursue the dream of a ring, have to be on lockdown for months to do it, worried about your family's health and no way to leave? It's a tough situation to be in. And we didn't know how safe or unsafe the bubble would be when Avery Bradley made this decision. On the basketball court, it really hurt the Lakers. They lost their defensive starting guard, a leader of the team, and a great two-way player. Luckily for the Lakers, they were able to deal with this blow and still win a championship, which honestly makes what they did even more impressive. The legends were true. Playoff Rondo does exist. For the past 2 years, I've watched Rondo play mediocre basketball and look more like a washed vet than a rotation player. I'd seen him play terribly, and the only rebuttal I ever got from the Lakers organization was vague responses about his swagger or his high basketball IQ, but nothing on the court supported these claims. I thought Rajon Rondo was just a player who convinced the Lakers he had something left in the tank when it was obvious he didn't. I was wrong. I have no explanation for Rondo's 180. I've heard of playoff Rondo before and I understood that he did play better in the playoffs, but it just seemed senile to assume he'd suddenly become a good player. Yet, there he was versus the Rockets in Game 2 of the playoffs, making key assists, stealing the ball, applying pressure, and locking down the guards. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because of this playoff run, my opinion on Rondo has changed. It made all those frustrating regular season games for the past 2 years worth it. If that's the player he will be when the games truly matter, then I'm all in. I'll take regular season Rondo as long as it comes with playoff Rondo. But it seems like I won't have to think about playoff Rondo or regular season Rondo much longer. Rondo is opting out of his contract and rumors are he will get a large contract offer from the Atlanta Hawks or he might move on and play with the Los Angeles Clippers. I'd like to see Rondo return, but it looks like he might be in another jersey for 2021. Once AD joined the Lakers, Kyle Kuzma's light was dwarfed. He was no longer the debatable second option player. Youth went from an asset to a liability. So Kuzma now had to deal with being the youngest player the Lakers kept. Did he live up to the new expectations? Was he as productive as before but with less time? Did he adapt well to his role? Well, yes and no. Yes, he was able to eventually find a rhythm and flow on this team, but no, he wasn't as productive as years past. He wasn't as productive as he should have been given his role. He averaged 8.6 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. All those numbers were lower than last year, and even using his per 36 stats, he had a worse year than his 2019 season was. Kuzma didn't maximize his opportunities. He didn't really give the coaching staff or fans a reason to say, hey, we need more Kyle Kuzma. He had bright spots, good games versus the Clippers, a game winner versus the Nuggets, and he was very much a part of the rotation in the NBA Finals. I have no idea what the Lakers will do with Kyle Kuzma. For me, I think it might be time to let Kuzma go. He's a good player, maybe he can even become a great player, but after 3 years, I feel okay walking away. The team is in a win now mode, and I don't think Kyle Kuzma will become the kind of player the Lakers need him to be right now. We'll see what happens. KCP has really grown into his role on the Lakers. His start to 2020 was rough, but he bounced back and proved the critics wrong. Not only is he a valuable member of this team, he's the best player after AD and LeBron. KCP was a productive player on the court. He averaged 9.3 points, 2.1 rebounds, and 1.6 assists. Those numbers were a bit down from last year, but only marginally. Other players had their numbers dwarfed by the signings of AD, but not KCP. He was able to continue being the scoring threat he was before AD was on the team. It's a testament to his skill and ability that despite the team going from being an under 40 win team to NBA champs, his role was just as important. With KCP being a starter and a 3-and-D player coming off a championship team, he's going to be very valuable if he tests the market. I hope the Lakers can keep KCP. He is a quality player, a scoring threat, and a starter on this championship team. This is a business and KCP needs to do what's best for him, and that might mean getting a contract that's $10 million plus for multiple years. We'll see what happens, but I hope he stays a Laker. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you've enjoyed watching, please subscribe and hit that like button. Also, comment below and let me know if you agree with my order for Tier B. I'll be working on Tier A and uploading that video next week. So, until then, have a good rest of your week and go Lakers!